The penthouse door swung open. Golden light spilled across marble floors. Lucas Hart, the young billionaire, stood frozen. He had come home early, unannounced. A strange man stood in his living room, wearing an old security uniform, holding a paring knife. In front of him, Lucas's personal manager and his little daughter, trembling. The man turned around, his voice low and cold. "Shut up. Don't say a word." The entire room went silent. 1 second later, a sharp click echoed from the security guard's wristwatch, recording everything. The real reason would shock the entire building. Type respect if you believe not every silence hides guilt. His name was Ethan Cole, 39 years old, single father, security guard at Hart Tower. He lived in a small basement apartment with his daughter Mia. She was 9 years old. Bright eyes, always asking questions. Every morning, Ethan would walk her to the building's daycare before starting his shift. He wore the same faded uniform, the same worn boots, but he wore them with pride. Lucas Hart was different, 33 years old, CEO of a massive investment firm, wealthy beyond measure, cold, distant, rarely seen by his own staff. Ethan took his job seriously. He often told Mia the same thing. Protecting people is not just a truth bomb, it is a promise. He meant every word. Ethan helped everyone in the building, the cleaning crew, the maintenance workers, especially Anna, the house manager who took care of Lucas's penthouse. Anna was kind but overwhelmed. She managed the top floor alone. Lucas demanded perfection. She rarely got thanks. Ethan noticed she seemed stressed lately, nervous, looking over her shoulder. One evening, she pulled him aside in the security office. "Ethan, I think something is wrong." "What do you mean?" "The cameras. Sometimes they move when no one is there, and I hear clicking sounds in the walls." Ethan frowned. He checked the security logs. Nothing unusual, but Anna was not the type to imagine things. "Let me look into it quietly. Do not tell anyone yet." He started his investigation that night, reviewing footage, checking access codes, looking for patterns. Meanwhile, rumors started spreading. Someone told Lucas that Anna and the poor security guard were having some kind of relationship, something inappropriate. Lucas never asked questions. He just listened and doubted. But Ethan had no idea about the whispers. He was focused on something else, something dangerous. 3 days later, he found it. A signal coming from inside the penthouse. Not from any official device. It was hidden, encrypted. Someone was watching Lucas's private space. Ethan went up alone after midnight. Anna let him in. She was shaking. "Did you find something?" "Stay quiet. Just show me where you heard the clicking." She led him to the living room, near the air purifier. Ethan knelt down, opened the panel. There it was, a tiny chip, smaller than a coin, attached to the circuit board. Someone has been listening. His heart pounded. This was not random. This was professional. Someone with access. Someone trusted. He carefully removed the chip, placed it in a plastic bag, then into his pocket. "I need to run tests. Find out who planted this. Do not tell anyone." "Not yet." Anna nodded, her face pale. Ethan stood up. He needed to write a full report, gather evidence, do this properly. But then, footsteps. Coming from the hallway, keys jingling. The front door opened. Lucas Hart stepped inside. Early, unannounced, his eyes scanned the room. He saw Ethan, standing in his living room, Anna nearby. And then he saw Mia, who had followed her father upstairs, standing near the kitchen counter, scared. Ethan had been cutting an apple for her, the paring knife still in his hand. Everything looked wrong. Ethan turned. He needed to explain. But he also knew the walls had ears. Whoever planted that chip might still be listening. He made a choice, a dangerous one. He looked at Anna, his voice low and firm. "Shut up. Do not say a word." Lucas's face went dark. Lucas stepped forward, his eyes locked on Ethan, then the knife, then his daughter. "What the hell is going on here?" Ethan raised his hand slowly, calmly. "Sir, you need to listen first." "Listen, you are in my home with my staff, with my child holding a weapon. It is not what you think." I think it is exactly what I think. Anna stepped forward, her voice shaking. Mr. Hart, please. He was helping me. He found something. Lucas turned to her, his face cold. Helping you? At midnight? In my private penthouse? Sir, there is a device, Ethan said. Someone planted listening equipment in your home. I removed it tonight. I have evidence. Lucas stared at him, silent. Then he laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. A device. How convenient. And you just happened to find it. You just happened to be here, alone with my daughter. I brought Mia because the daycare was closed. She fell asleep downstairs. She woke up and followed me. I gave her an apple. That is all. That is all? Lucas's voice rose. You are telling me this is innocent? Ethan stayed calm, but his jaw tightened. I am telling you the truth. Lucas pulled out his phone. He dialed security. On 2 officers to the penthouse, now. Anna grabbed his arm. Please, you are making a mistake. He pulled away. The mistake was trusting people I barely know. Ethan looked at Mia. She was crying now, scared, confused. Mia, it is okay. Go sit on the couch. She did not move. Mia, now. She walked slowly to the couch, her small hands shaking. 2 security officers arrived within minutes. They looked at Ethan, shocked. He was their supervisor. Sir, one of them asked Lucas, detain him, escort him out. I want a full investigation. Mr. Hart, Ethan said quietly, check your filters. Please, just check them. Lucas ignored him. The officers approached Ethan, hesitant, uncomfortable. Chief Cole, we have to follow orders. Ethan nodded. He placed the paring knife on the counter, slowly, hands visible. I understand. They cuffed him, gently, but it was still humiliating. Anna was sobbing now. This is wrong. This is so wrong. Lucas turned to her. You are dismissed. Leave tonight. I will have HR contact you tomorrow. Her face went pale. You are firing me. I am protecting my family. Ethan was led toward the elevator. Employees were gathering now. Word had spread fast. Whispers filled the hallways. Is that Chief Cole? What did he do? I heard he was caught in the penthouse. With the billionaire's kid. The whispers became accusations, judgments, assumptions. Ethan kept his head high. But inside, his heart was breaking. Not for himself. For Mia. She was watching her father being taken away like a criminal. As the elevator doors closed, Ethan spoke one last time. Sir, check your filters. Lucas said nothing. The next morning, the news broke. Every major outlet picked it up. Billionaire's bodyguard detained for trespassing private penthouse. Lucas Hart's security chief arrested after midnight incident. Trust broken at Hart Tower. Insider threat exposed. The articles were brutal. They painted Ethan as a predator, a manipulator, someone who abused his position. Lucas read them over coffee. He felt satisfied, justified. He had protected his daughter. He had acted fast, but something nagged at him. That phrase, check your filters. Why would Ethan say that? What did it mean? He pushed the thought away. That evening, Lucas received an email. No name, no subject line, just a video file. He almost deleted it, but curiosity won. He clicked. The video was grainy, security footage, from inside his penthouse. Timestamped 2 weeks earlier. A man entered, not Ethan, someone else, wearing a maintenance uniform. He moved quickly, efficiently. He opened the air purifier, installed something small, then closed it. Lucas leaned closer to the screen. He recognized the man. It was David, his assistant director, his trusted colleague, his friend. The video continued. Another clip. This one from 3 days ago. Ethan appeared, alone. He opened the same air purifier, removed the device, held it up to the camera, then placed it carefully in a plastic bag. The final clip was from last night. Ethan was speaking to Anna. His lips moved. The audio was faint, but Lucas turned up the volume. I am recording this for your safety, sir. Someone inside your staff is leaking. Ethan looked directly at the hidden camera. Whoever you are, I am coming for you. The video ended. Lucas sat in silence, his hands trembling. He had fired the wrong person, humiliated the wrong man, destroyed the reputation of someone who was trying to protect him. He grabbed his phone, called the detention center. "Release Ethan Cole immediately." "Sir, the paperwork takes time." "I do not care about paperwork. Release him now." He hung up. Then he called his head of IT. "I need a full sweep of my penthouse. Every device, every wire, every signal. Now." Within an hour, the results came back. 12 listening devices, hidden throughout his home, installed over 6 months. All traced back to the same source, David. Lucas felt sick. He had trusted the wrong person and punished the one who tried to save him. Type justice if you believe truth always finds its way. Lucas drove to the detention center himself. No driver, no assistant, just him. He needed to face this alone. When he arrived, Ethan was sitting on a metal bench. Calm, quiet, like he had been expecting this. The guard unlocked the door. "Mr. Hart is here for you." Ethan stood, looked at Lucas, no anger in his eyes, just exhaustion. "You finally checked the filters, huh?" Lucas stepped inside. "I am sorry." Ethan nodded slowly. "Apologies do not protect people. Listening does." Those words hit Lucas harder than any accusation could have. "I need you to tell me everything from the beginning." Ethan sat back down. Lucas joined him. 3 weeks ago, Anna noticed something strange. Sounds in the walls. Cameras moving on their own. She told me because she trusted me. I started investigating quietly. Why quietly? Because whoever did this had access, high-level access. If I raised alarms, they would destroy evidence and disappear. Lucas listened. Really listened this time. "I found the first device 2 weeks ago, in your air purifier. Then I found another, in your office lamp, then your bedroom smoke detector. 12 total." 12? Yes, all transmitting data to an external server. I traced the server. It belonged to a shell company. Registered offshore. "Who owns it?" Ethan looked at him directly. "Your assistant director, David Chen." Lucas felt his stomach drop. "David? No, he has been with me for 5 years. He is my friend." "Friends do not sell your private conversations to your competitors." Lucas stood up, paced, his mind racing. Why would he do this? Money, a lot of it. Your business rivals paid him to leak insider information. Merger talks, investment strategies, private meetings, everything. Lucas ran his hands through his hair. And last night, when I came home, I had just removed the chip from the living room device. I was about to bag it as evidence. Anna was there as a witness. Mia woke up and came upstairs looking for most for me. I gave her an apple to keep her calm. And when you said shut up, Ethan smiled slowly, a tired smile. The devices were still active in other rooms. If Anna or I said anything about what I found, David would know. He would erase everything, disappear before we could prove anything. So I told her to stay silent, to protect the evidence, to protect you. Lucas sat back down, head in his hands. I destroyed your reputation. I fired Anna. I called you a criminal in front of your own team. Yes, you did. How can you be so calm? Because I knew the truth would come out. It always does. I just had to wait. Lucas looked up at him. Why did you risk so much? You could have just reported it to the police. Let them handle it. Because by the time police got involved, David would be gone, and you would never know who betrayed you. I wanted to catch him. For you, for your daughter, for everyone who trusted him. Silence filled the small room. Finally, Lucas spoke. What do you need from me? Let me finish the job. Within 2 hours, Lucas had mobilized everything. His legal team, his IT security, the federal authorities. They raided David's office that night. He was still there, working late, confident, unaware of him. When the agents walked in, his face went white. What is this about? David Chen, you are under arrest for corporate espionage, illegal surveillance, and theft of proprietary information. He looked at Lucas, standing in the doorway. Lucas, this is insane. I have done nothing wrong. Lucas stepped forward, held up a tablet, played the video of David installing the devices. Nothing wrong? David's mouth opened, closed. No words came out. How much did they pay you? David looked away. How much, David? 2 million over 3 years. Lucas felt sick. I trusted you. I brought you into my home. My daughter called you Uncle David. It was just business, Lucas. Nothing personal. Nothing personal? You sold my life, my privacy, my family's safety. You have billions. You will be fine. Lucas stepped closer, his voice cold. I would give every dollar I have to get back the trust you destroyed. David was led away in handcuffs, cameras flashing, reporters shouting questions. Lucas stood in the hallway, numb. Ethan appeared beside him. It is over. Was it? I ruined your life, your reputation. Your daughter saw you arrested because of me. She also saw me stand up for what was right, even when it cost me everything. That is a lesson money cannot buy. Lucas turned to him. I want to make this right. You cannot undo what happened, but you can move forward differently. How? By trusting the people who prove themselves, not the ones who tell you what you want to hear. Lucas nodded. That night, he called a press conference. Every major outlet attended. The room was packed. Lucas stood at the podium, Ethan beside him. 3 days ago, I made a terrible mistake. I accused an innocent man of a crime he did not commit. I humiliated him publicly. I destroyed his reputation based on assumptions and fear. Cameras flashed. Reporters leaned forward. That man was Ethan Cole, my head of security, the person who risked everything to protect my family from a real threat. While I was focused on the wrong enemy, he was quietly, carefully, building a case against someone I trusted. He turned to Ethan. Ethan found 12 illegal surveillance devices in my home. He traced them to a colleague who had been selling my private information for years. He did this alone, without recognition, without thanks, because that is who he is. The room erupted with questions. Lucas raised his hand. I am here to announce that Ethan Cole is not only reinstated, he is promoted to Chief of Security for all Hart properties. He will have full authority to rebuild our security infrastructure, and I will personally ensure his reputation is restored. He looked directly at the cameras. He told me to stay silent, and that silence saved my daughter's life. I owe him more than I can ever repay. The room stood. Applause filled the space. Ethan did not smile, did not wave, just nodded once. Afterward, in the quiet of the empty hall, Lucas turned to him. Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave up on you. Ethan extended his hand. Thank you for finally listening. They shook, not as employer and employee, but as two men who had learned the cost of judgment and the value of truth. 1 week later, Lucas walked down to the basement level, something he had never done before. He found Ethan in the security garage, washing the patrol vehicle. Mia was beside him, holding a sponge, laughing. You still work this hard? Ethan looked up, smiled slightly. Old habits. Lucas watched them for a moment. Father and daughter, simple, happy, content. Can I talk to you both? Mia ran over. Mr. Hart, Daddy says you are a good man now. Lucas crouched down to her level. I am trying to be. Your dad is teaching me how. She giggled. What do you want to be when you grow up, Mia? She thought carefully, then looked at her father. Like Dad, someone who protects people who do not see danger coming. Lucas felt something catch in his throat. He reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a small ID card. It was laminated, professional, with Mia's photo on it. The title read, Future Chief of Security, Hart Tower. He handed it to her. For when you are ready. Mia's eyes went wide. She looked at Ethan. Daddy, is this real? It is real, sweetheart. She threw her arms around Lucas. He froze for a second, then hugged her back. When she ran off to show Anna, who had also been rehired, Lucas stood. That is too much, Ethan said quietly. No, that is the least I can do. Lucas extended his hand again, but this time he bowed his head slightly. Thank you, Chief Cole. Ethan shook his hand, firm, respectful. Thank you for listening, Mr. Hart. Call me Lucas. I will stick with Mr. Hart. Some boundaries are good. Lucas laughed, a real laugh, the first in months. They stood in comfortable silence, watching Mia dance around with her new ID card. Can I ask you something? Lucas said. Of course. When they arrested you, when everyone was watching, you never looked angry, never looked scared. How? Ethan wiped his hands on a rag. Because I knew who I was and what I had done. Their opinions could not change that. Only the truth mattered. And the truth always survives, Latoz. Lucas nodded slowly. I wish I had learned that sooner. You learned it when you needed to. A month later, the building held a ceremony. In the main lobby, employees gathered, press attended, and community leaders came. A large bronze plaque was unveiled near the entrance. It read, in honor of Ethan Cole, the man who heard danger before it spoke. Below that, a quote, true security is not built on walls, it is built on trust. Ethan stood beside Lucas, uncomfortable with the attention, but grateful. A reporter raised her hand. Chief Cole, what would you say to others who face false accusations? Ethan thought for a moment. Stay true to who you are. Do not let anger make you bitter. Do not let injustice make you cruel. The truth is patient. It will wait for you. Another reporter turned to Lucas. How has this changed you? Lucas looked at Ethan, then at Mia in the crowd. It taught me that wealth builds walls, but trust opens doors. I had every resource in the world, but I almost lost what mattered most because I stopped listening. He paused. Never stop listening. The crowd applauded, not politely, but genuinely. Ethan shook hands with everyone, humble, gracious, still the same man he had always been. 1 year later, the lobby of Hart Tower looked different, brighter, more open, more welcoming. A large photograph hung on the wall near security, black and white, elegant. It showed Ethan and Lucas, standing side by side, looking at the camera with quiet respect. The caption beneath read, "The day silence spoke." Visitors often stopped to read the story beside it, how a security guard risked everything, how a billionaire learned humility, how trust was broken and rebuilt. A young journalist approached Lucas one afternoon. Mr. Hart, can I ask you something personal? Go ahead. Do you still think about that night when you arrested Chief Cole? Lucas looked at the photograph. Every day. Does it haunt you? No, it reminds me. There is a difference. What does it remind you of? That silence is not always guilt. Sometimes it is courage, choosing protection over explanation, strategy over emotion. The journalist wrote quickly. And Chief Cole, do you still work closely with him? Every single day. He is the first person I consult on any major decision, not because I have to, because I trust him. Across the lobby, Ethan was training new security staff. Mia sat nearby doing homework. Now 10 years old, still curious, still kind. One of the trainees asked Ethan a question. Chief, how do you know who to trust? Ethan looked at Lucas across the room. Their eyes met. A small nod passed between them. You trust people who stay consistent, in public and in private, in comfort and in crisis. Words are easy. Character is rare. Later that evening, Lucas stopped by Ethan's new office. Much bigger now, windows overlooking the city. He placed a small box on the desk. What is this? Open it. Inside was a watch, elegant, expensive, but simple. Ethan turned it over, engraved on the back. For the man who heard danger before it spoke, LH. Ethan looked up. You did not have to do this. I know. I wanted to. Ethan put the watch on. It fit perfectly. Thank you. No, thank you, for teaching me that the quietest voices often speak the loudest truths. They stood at the window, watching the city lights flicker to life. Mia appeared in the doorway. Dad, are we rich now? Both men laughed. Ethan crouched down. No, honey, we are safe. That is better. She nodded, satisfied with that answer. Lucas watched them leave, father and daughter, walking together, unhurried, unworried. He turned back to the window, his reflection staring back. For the first time in years, he recognized the man he saw. Not perfect, but better. Not fearless, but wiser. And that was enough. Sometimes shut up is not anger. It is courage choosing silence over case. Subscribe if you believe silence can be louder than words.